Have you ever stopped to think about how little you actually know about the person behind a username? I mean, really think about it. Someone can spend years making you laugh, answering your questions, sharing pictures of their family, maybe even teaching you something useful. And the entire time, you have absolutely no idea who you're talking to. Because behind some of the most ordinary-looking Reddit accounts ever created were people living lives that were anything but ordinary. One was a father whose innocent photo of his little boy made thousands of strangers smile. Another was a respected programmer who became so trusted online that people literally defended his reputation for him. And another was asking criminals extremely specific questions about how they chose their victims, entered a location, and escaped afterward. At first, none of this looked suspicious. That's what makes it disturbing. Because months, sometimes years later, investigators discovered what was really happening behind those screens. And in one case, an incredibly popular horror writer wasn't simply imagining stories about murder, deception, and disappearing spouses. His real life was beginning to look disturbingly similar to his fiction. But that's not even the account that bothers me the most. There is one profile we're getting to later, where the posts are still online today. And once you know what happened inside that family, reading those old messages feels completely different. Almost like you're looking through a window before something terrible happened. And by the end, I want to show you the detail that connects all of these stories. Because the scariest thing here isn't Reddit. It's how convincingly a normal person can exist behind a normal screen name. Okay, before we go deeper, subscribe if you enjoy these strange little rabbit holes with me. Hit the like button and come say hi on my Instagram. It seriously helps me more than you think. All right, let's open the first account. So, let's start with a man who understood something about the internet extremely well. People will believe the character you give them. For years, Reddit users knew him simply as NM Writes. He wrote horror. Not cheap jump scare horror either. His stories were detailed, psychological, and disturbingly believable. The kind where normal relationships slowly turn into something terrifying. And people loved them, like really loved them. One story in particular exploded across Reddit. It involved marriage, deception, a husband hiding something horrifying, and enough twists that eventually the entertainment industry noticed. In 2022, Sony Pictures acquired the film rights. Think about that. Behind an anonymous Reddit username was apparently a writer living the dream. Thousands of readers, a growing reputation, and now Hollywood was interested. His comment section filled with congratulations. It looked like one of those beautiful internet success stories. Except there was one tiny problem. NM Writes wasn't his real identity. And while thousands of people were discovering his fictional stories, authorities had already been interested in the man behind that username for reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with writing. And this is where the story starts getting very strange. Like, a lot. His real name was Nicholas Cassotis, and years before Reddit knew him as a horror writer, his personal life was already collapsing. After a previous divorce, Cassotis had serious financial and legal problems. He eventually married Mindy Mabane Cassotis, and the couple began living an increasingly strange, isolated life. According to testimony later presented in court, Nicholas convinced Mindy that dangerous people were after them. So they moved. Again and again. Then, in late 2022, Mindy disappeared. Nicholas told people she had suffered a medical emergency and died. But on December 2nd, hunters in rural Georgia discovered human remains. For months, nobody knew who the woman was. Then, investigators used genetic genealogy. On May 11, 2023, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed the victim was Mindy Cassotis. One day later, Nicholas was arrested in Pennsylvania. And here's where his Reddit identity becomes almost surreal. Remember that horror story we talked about? In May 2022, Sony's 3000 Pictures acquired the film rights to his Reddit story, "I Think My Mother-in-Law is Trying to Kill Me," a fictional story filled with poisoned relationships, deception, and murder. Then, his own wife was killed months later. Now, important distinction. There is no evidence that his Reddit story was a confession or some literal blueprint. But after an 8-day trial in August 2025, a Georgia jury found Casotis guilty on all 12 counts, including malice murder and felony murder. He received life without parole, plus another 25 years. And somehow, Reddit gets even darker. Months before 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in November 2022, another Reddit account appeared under the name criminology_student. The person behind it identified himself as Brian Kohberger. He was conducting academic research and asking people who had committed crimes to explain their behavior. Questions went into details like preparation, decision-making, emotions, even why a particular victim or target had been selected. At the time, it looked like criminology research. After his arrest, people obviously read those questions very differently. Again, I want to be careful here. There is no verified evidence that the survey itself was created to plan a murder. But Kohberger later pleaded guilty to killing Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Prosecutors said DNA from a knife sheath, surveillance footage, cell phone information, and vehicle evidence connected him to the crime. In July 2025, he received 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. And his motive? To this day, we still don't have one. But maybe the most heartbreaking account wasn't mysterious at all. It belonged to a New Jersey father named Christopher Kuhn. His Reddit page included an innocent photo of his little boy holding a computer mouse to his ear like a telephone. Cute, normal, the kind of picture you scroll past and smile at. Then, October 3rd, 2017 happened. Authorities say Kuhn stole about $228 worth of merchandise from a Walmart and fled with his 2-year-old son in the vehicle. The child wasn't properly restrained. Kuhn ran a red light. The SUV crashed, and his little boy was thrown from it. According to prosecutors, Kuhn fled the scene on foot instead of remaining with his dying son. He was later convicted of 3rd-degree murder and sentenced to 8.5 to 30 years in prison. And this is the part that gets me. None of those Reddit pages looked evil. No flashing warning signs. No giant message saying, "The person behind this account is dangerous." Just writers, students, parents, normal usernames, with real human beings hiding behind them. And the account I saved for last? Oh my god, that one is different. Because its owner was writing about how much she loved her family, only months before that family became the center of a nightmare. You know what bothers me most? None of these people looked dangerous online. They looked talented, curious, normal. And that's why I don't think the lesson is Reddit is evil. That's way too easy. The real problem is that the internet lets us confuse familiarity with trust. A username can feel like a person you know, when really, it's just the version of themselves they chose to show you. And sometimes, that version is very carefully edited. And for those of you who were curious and stayed with me until the very end of this video, remember the mother I mentioned earlier? Her Reddit username was AOKeymom. She wrote about raising 7 children, living on one income, and how she would never trade having her kids for more money. It sounds incredibly ordinary. 7 months after her final Reddit activity, 5 members of the Bever family were killed inside their home in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The people responsible were 2 of April Bever's own sons, Robert and Michael. Their parents, David and April, and 3 younger siblings died. 2 children survived. And that's the detail I couldn't stop thinking about. Because April's old comments didn't disappear. They're frozen there. Ordinary conversations written by a mother who had no idea strangers would one day read them, knowing exactly how her family's story ended. That's the card hiding underneath all of these accounts. The posts weren't disturbing when they were written. The future made them disturbing. And suddenly, every joke, every family photo, every innocent comment becomes evidence of a life we only understand in hindsight. So tell me, do you think we ever truly know who we're talking to online? Or do we only know the character they choose to give us? Sending a huge hug, and God bless you so much. Bye-bye.